Eros Meets Agape is a bi-weekly heart-to-heart conversation about love, sex, marriage, and relationships. Everyone wants to love and be loved, but everyone does not know how to give and receive the love they both want and need. Intimacy and passion are essential, yet mean nothing if there isn't unconditional and sacrificial love, which is the foundation for any lasting relationship. Dr. Sardia is a licensed marriage and family therapist and minister. Let's listen in as she shares how to create healthier and happier relationships.
Hey, family, how are you? It is your favorite go-to marriage and couples therapist and coach, Dr. Sardia. Yes, that's me. That's what I'm calling me. And I hope you all join along with me. But seriously, today I want to talk to you all about the difference between knowing versus feeling love. Now, what does that really mean? I can know that I'm loved, right? You know your parents love you, but you might not necessarily feel the love all the time, right? So in my household, I might have known my parents loved me, but I felt it for certain on Christmas and on my birthday, right? There were extra attempts to make me know, hey, we were thinking about you. We wanted you to experience this thing here, right? Not saying that it's always about gifts, but just giving you as an example. Here to really talk to you so that you can understand the difference, but not just understand the difference. We don't want to just know something. What can I do with that? I can do absolutely nothing. This show is all about not just gaining information, but using the information in application of your day-to-day life. So what does that mean? Guess what? You're going to have to join me in the classroom. So let's head on over and I will see you in a second. All right, folks. So we are talking about knowing the difference between the two. Knowing I'm loved versus feeling love. All right. So imagine you are, I don't even know the name of the places. Let's just say Caesar's Palace, and you're in Vegas, and it is the biggest fight in the world. And you have in one corner this boxer who everyone is rooting for. And then you have in the other corner another boxer who maybe isn't as popular, but you find out it's pretty good. Who are you rooting for, right? There's a difference, right? There's the difference because, of course, we always want to root for the underdog. We love the underdog. But we also want to root for the shoe-in, the one that we know is going to get the job done. Now, I'm not saying I'm a gambling woman because I am not. I'm not saying that I am, nor am I alluding to the fact that I am because I am not. But we always bet on a sure thing is my point. So what am I trying to say? What does this have to do with knowing versus feeling your love? Imagine and move those two boxers and you have in one corner knowing your love and in the other corner feeling love. Who's going to win out when it comes to this relationship and being satisfied or being satisfied in this marriage? If they were duking it out, who's going to win? Who's going to evidence that they are the stronger of the two? And I'm telling you, I am here to let you know, hands down, feeling loved wins out every single time above anyone who just knows they are loved. So what does that really mean? All right, so let's just break it down, okay? Because here we go. Now, generally, you have a relationship or you're in a relationship, and over the course of time, at some place and point, I hope, at some place and point, that person has let you know that they love you, okay? It's very certain. It's very clear. And it's an awesome thing, right? That first time that someone tells you they love you, you are like, me? Oh, me? You love me? This is awesome, right? You're excited. You're excited to hear it. You are excited to know that you have made an impact, not just in someone's life, but in their heart, right? You are changing how they are experiencing life simply by being alive, right? You didn't do anything to earn it. You just showed up being your fabulous self and they enjoy it. Now, when it comes to knowing you're loved, it's awesome. Generally, when you hear it initially, and then of course you'll hear it subsequently after that. But over time, just knowing you're loved and hearing, hey babe, I love you. It's nice. It's a cute little surprise here and there, phone call or text out of the blue that just says, I love you. Awesome. It's letting you know that this person loves and cares about you. But guess what else it's doing? It's also speaking to you in a way that lets you know, not only do I know I am loved by this individual, I am also feeling this thing, right? Because they are feeling me. When we know something, it is knowledge. I don't have to believe in it because it's knowledge, right? I used to live at 16885, or was it? Lord, I forgot my old address. When I was a kid growing up, I used to live at 16842 Press. That's it. Love that street. Love this. Shout out to the P block. All right. But seriously, I know my address. I don't have to believe in it now because I know that that's a fact. That's my address. It is, yeah, I purposely covered up my mouth so you already know. But it's decades later since I lived on that block, but I still know that address. Had a little fumble, but you see my point. I'm saying that when it comes to knowing something, I don't necessarily need to see evidence of it. If it is pertaining to a thing, but we're talking about love here. And because we're talking about love, love is different. So I can know I'm loved and it's an awesome feeling. It's an awesome thing to know, but I need to feel it. So I don't know if you are on team knowing you're loved or if you are on team feeling you're loved, but I am praying, hoping, wishing, and believing that by the time this episode ends, you are on the team feeling loved. Okay. Yes, I did have to take a pause there because you need to know it is very essential for your partner to know not just that you love them, but they are able to feel loved by you. Think of anyone who has been married, right? For us to say for any significant amount of time, generally, let's just say the first year, you're still in your honeymoon period. So everything is still adorable. You're having those arguments, but you're having great makeup sex too. So it's like, yeah, bring on that argument because we can have this great, fabulous makeup sex. All right. So let's just pause for the cause. You're not married and still in your honeymoon phase. Let's just say it's 16 years down the road. You all are doing this thing called life together, right? You're having a great time sometimes. And then sometimes it's not so fun. It's those periods where it's not so fun that you still know you're loved, right? How do I know that? I'm pretty much guessing if I'm not seeing it. So if I know I'm loved and I'm not receiving any type of external confirmation that I am loved, and I simply know, yeah, he married me 16 years ago. He comes home every day, he pays the mortgage or whatever bills we decided that are his. Yes, sure, he does certain things like communicates to me, says good morning, good night, says hi in the middle of the day. Sure, he loves me, right? These are some indicators for some people that you know you're loved. Some people are happy with, well, yes, my spouse loves me, comes home every single day. And that to me is testament that he loves me, and that is good enough. Now, if that's you, there's nothing wrong with that. But there are going to be some other people out there who says, well, that's not enough, right? There are some people, that person told them they loved them on their wedding day, and they meant it with all of their heart. But then, if you never saw any glimpse of that love, I don't care if it was 2 weeks later or 200 years later, you're going to be like, let me exit stage left. Give me the pen to sign out of this so I can get divorced because I need to feel the love. The difference in knowing I'm loved versus feeling love is head knowledge and heart knowledge. You may know you are loved, but not necessarily experience it. So case in point, I know my parents love me, know it significantly. I know they would do whatever it would take for whatever, as long as it was concerning me and any type of betterment of life. I know it. But do I necessarily see it every day, feel it every single day? No, I don't. As a parent, you love your children and you want them to see and experience and feel the love from you. That is going to be their foundation for establishing a healthy sense of love, or being undervalued in love, or being just a little bit too much when it comes to love. Therefore, having these expectations that others may not be able to fulfill because everybody won't be like mommy and daddy. Okay. So where am I going with this? Here's my point. Again, it's all about not just allowing your partner or even your partner allowing you to know that you're loved. That is the greatest thing that you need to know, but it is only the foundation. So if we are thinking of your relationship, your marriage, whatever it is you're involved in with this individual and love, we are looking at it solely from the aspect of building a house. And with building this house, knowing you are loved is simply the foundation and framework. Right? If you don't have the foundation, that cement isn't poured, and a little tornado, hurricane, whatever comes through your area, your house is going down by the wayside. It's going to be floating away, ripped apart. Why? Because the foundation was not laid. Knowing you are loved or telling your partner that you love them is essential, and it is the foundation. They need to be clear on the fact that you love them. But here's the thing. You cannot simply tell someone that you love them and they believe you, thus knowing it to be fact, right? Going back to my house example, I knew I lived at 16842 Press. How did I know that? One, they had to tell it to me. Two, every time I pulled up in the driveway and I looked at the numbers on the front porch showing our address, it matched with what they told me. Every time we left or we had to tell someone where we lived, those same numbers popped up. So I not only knew it, I experienced it consistently. When I had to write my address down, with school, different things like that. When I had to tell my friends where I live, I told them that. Therefore, I'm repeating information that I have also experienced and know to be true. I could only know it to be true because I experienced it. I have evidence of it. I have had examples in using it or what have you. Same case in point when it comes to knowing your love. There is no way someone is going to tell you that they love you and you have not seen any evidence of it. It's not possible. Evidence comes first. Then you are able to follow it up with the verbiage, right? Think of anybody that you've dated, okay? Now, y'all know I put myself out there. I'm not saying I'm fabulous. I'm just saying this has been my experience. But in my mind, not that I'm keeping tabs, but I do have a mental note. I'm not going to share the mental note, but I have kept recollection of people that I've dated who have shared with me that they love me, okay? And I'll just use one person as an example, but I have noticed that this happens quite a bit. Now, I was dating this one guy. We had been dating, I believe, I'm only sharing this one. I have other examples, but this person, I believe we had been dating about 12 days or 2 weeks. I can't remember. And I can't remember if I'm saying we dated or we were in a relationship. You know, I'm young, so it's, would you go with me? Okay, that sounds great. So I wasn't a teenager, but I was a young adult, very, very young adult. And the person told me they loved me. I didn't a bit more believe him. I was just like, okay, I'm not going to hurt this man's feelings, but I don't a bit more believe you. Why didn't I believe him? Now, let me be clear. He meant it. He proved it to me, but I did not believe him. And he knew I didn't believe him because he actually told me. I didn't have to tell him that. Well, I wasn't going to hurt his feelings, but I didn't believe him because I felt like, dude, I've been dating you for 2 weeks and already you're in love. I'm fabulous, but I'm not that fabulous. Let's just be honest. I would like to be that fabulous, but I am not that fabulous. And I did not believe him. Why? I didn't have the evidence that went along with his statement. So when we do not have evidence that goes along with a statement, we generally would not believe it, right? We need proof that what is being told to us is true. So if someone is saying they love you, in order for you to know that they love you, you have seen them through time and time again prove that it is true. Now, here's the difference where we begin to separate ourselves from knowing versus feeling. When I know that I am loved, this person has proven to me, right? Notice the tense, proven. Proven means past tense. You have prior examples of them evidencing this to be true, thus proven, not current, but past tense, because you can only go from prior experiences. Even if in this conversation, someone is telling you they love you in the moment, even in the moment, in that conversation, you can only believe them based on things that they have previously said or done. It is not present tense. It is past tense. Therefore, no, you're like, girl, it took you all this time to get here. I had to lay the foundation for you all to really see, okay? Again, building a house when it comes to this love thing, knowing we are loved versus feeling love. Knowing is important. I am not saying that one is more important than the other, but I'm saying if they had to go head up against each other, feeling loved is necessary to sustain the relationship, to keep it going, to make it thrive and grow. Knowing I'm loved is needed for me to determine if I can be in a relationship with you, because I need to feel the same for you, but I also need to have proof that you feel the same for me. It is the foundation from which we build. So we are transitioning from knowing we're loved versus feeling love. Knowing is past tense, right? That boxer I told you about in the beginning, I know y'all thought I was tripping. Like, where is she getting this from? Where is this time to? I'm going back to it. That boxer I told you about in the beginning, who's going head up against the one who is identified as feeling love versus the knowing. Well, I identified that the knowing was the one that had the great record, who was the welterweight champion of the world that everybody was rooting on. Why? Because they believed in this person. They saw proof of this person doing his thing or her thing in the ring. Okay. So therefore they believe, oh, if you're going up in the ring against this person, I don't know about that person over there, but what I know about you, you can do your thing. You can handle yourself in this ring. Therefore, I want to put my money on you. But people sleep. Remember I told you, people sleep on the underdog. The underdog here being feeling love. That's the opponent. And in essence, they're not really opponents. They're really brothers or sisters. They go hand in hand together. Knowing we're loved is the foundation. Feeling that we are loved, that's all the fun part that comes along with the relationship. How do we want to design this house? What style do we want to make this house? How do I want to decorate this? What kind of door do I want? What kind of windows do I want? Carpet and fixtures and all these appliances and furniture. Knowing we're loved is the foundation, but feeling we're loved is the aesthetics, right? It is the thing that we do to adorn this love that we have. So now that we have this foundation laid, let's get to it, because it's not just about teaching you and telling you this. That's cute. Don't y'all hate when people do that? They put out a topic, tell you about it, and then give you not one tip to tell you what to do in order to put this in activation in your world. I'm not for that. That's a waste of time. So y'all know I'm about to start telling you the tips, tools, and resources to move from knowing your love to feeling love. All right. So it's a key thing that you need to know and be aware of is intimacy in a relationship. Intimacy is the thing that keeps you going with this love that you have. Remember, knowing we're loved is a past tense, meaning we have proven to this person that we love them. Therefore, they believe we love them based on our prior actions, conversations, etc. But it's built on intimacy that is continual. So we don't establish intimacy in the beginning of a relationship. We continue with it throughout our relationship. So with that being said, intimacy has 5 different elements. And this is proven by research. These 5 different elements, think of the acronym RISES. So RISES. So R is recreational, I is intellectual, S is social, the E is emotional, and the second S in this case, in the term RISES, stands for sexual. Okay, so that's recreational, intellectual, social, emotional, and sexual. So these are 5 different types of intimacy. Everyone has a different way that they like to be intimate with someone. Most men like sexual. Number of women like emotional. Most cases, women become sexual when they have been engaged emotionally, And then this opens them up sexually, which in turn gives to their partner, which on his behalf, now that he's getting sex, he tends to open up emotionally. So it goes into this cycle. That's what we all generally know about to begin with. But there are those other three that still exist. Some people, they need to have recreational intimacy with their partner. And when their partner engages with them recreationally, that means playing with them. I don't know, go play golf or basketball, go hiking, whatever it is, it's this interaction that you have with one another in real time, synchronously, right? You're doing this together at the same time, enjoying the moment together in this activity. And with this activity, you are enjoying your leisure time with one another, engaging in this activity. And that's what some people enjoy as far as recreational intimacy. It is this time together that bonds them. Now, some of you may say, why would I like that? That makes no sense. Let me help you out here. If you ever notice, most guys, they don't sit up on the phone with their boy talking about their relationships and their world. They don't do that. No, what they actually do on the golf course, what are they doing? They're talking to one another about their lives, about work, making deals. Let's be clear. Intimacy does not mean sex. It means a closeness where you are getting close to someone. You are knowing them on a deeper level. That's pretty much in a nutshell what intimacy is, and it manifests itself in those 5 different ways. So if someone is enjoying recreational intimacy, they are getting to know one another in a setting or environment where they are engaging in an activity, but the activity also allows them to connect and converse, to get to know one another on a different level. That's why a lot of deals are made on the golf course, right? You will not join a foursome and first meet your foursome and think you're going to close a deal that particular day. Unless you're the best seller in the world, it's not going to happen. Why? Because you don't have a relationship. It's all about relationship. We're in this thing together. So when we have a recreational intimacy with our partner, it means that person enjoys engaging with you in an activity that is stimulating to them recreationally. Okay. Now think about intellectual intimacy. Intellectual intimacy means I love engaging in mind conversations that maybe have to deal with politics or, real deep thought, maybe philosophical, maybe spiritual, biblical, whatever that is. It is the enjoyment this person has with opening up their mind to deep, thoughtful, provoking conversations that allows their mind to work on levels that they don't get to experience with the average everyday person. Okay. So I have a friend that I used to love debating with her because we could do our spiritual debates for forever. Not any other kind, I pretty much wasn't listening to what she was saying, but spiritual stuff, hey, she knew her Bible and I was good with mine. So, hey, let's talk about this. And I loved our spiritual debates. It was an intellectual intimacy that connected us, not because I had some relationship with her, romantically, but I had a relationship with her friend-wise. And we connected friend-wise, deepening this intimacy in our friendship on a deeper level when we would engage intellectually with one another. We both enjoyed that stimulating conversation. Some people will see it as far as, I don't know, maybe they go to museums and they discuss art with one another or different things like that. But it allows you to be able to engage in a conversation that elevates a mental experience for you and that person. Now, when we look at social, all right, I know the word social nowadays, we think of social media. Don't think of it that way, but it's really about hanging out with one another. Some couples really enjoy sharing the same social space with one another. They like going to different engagements together and they hang out with one another. They don't enter into the room or the event and then head into different areas of the room. That's not how it works for them. Instead, these people go into a social gathering and they love the environment. They love the people. They love engaging with these people and they're very social together. And that experience elevates their romantic experience because it adds to their social intimacy. And then we have emotional intimacy. Now, I talked about these last two, emotional and sexual already, but I'll dive in just a little bit more just to highlight some key points. Again, emotional intimacy is what most women, 70% of women, enjoy. They love the ability to connect, sharing emotions about themselves and their experiences, and talking with someone that allows them to express themselves in a way that they feel validated in that moment because their voice has been heard as well as understood. When we have emotional intimacy, I'm able to now have conversations with you that I would not have with the average person. So I might share with my coworker that I'm upset that my husband forgot about my birthday, but I wouldn't go into further conversation about that. I wouldn't express the deeper emotions that are sitting underneath these other layers because that's being too vulnerable and that's the wrong setting as well. I might not have an intimate relationship with this person because they're just a coworker, not friend. But maybe if I'm talking about that same situation, say to my mom, I have a close relationship with her. So therefore, I would open up a lot more emotionally and saying, well, he really hurt my feelings. So I'm not just angry, right? I told that to my coworker when I told him I was upset. I was angry with my husband for not remembering my birthday. But now I'm going even deeper in my emotions and sharing them in this conversation with my mom. So therefore, I'm sharing that I was hurt. And maybe it makes me feel as if, I'm not important to him for him not to remember that. So I would have more conversation with her. But now imagine me having the same conversation with my spouse. Well, if I really have the highest level of emotional closeness, which is what this form of intimacy is, it's emotional connection between you and another person. I had that with my mom, but I have the most intimate relationship with my partner. So that person is knowing me in a way that no one else does. I'm able to be my most naked self with my partner than with my mom or maybe my best friend, people who I'm close with, but not the same as a spouse or a mate. So because I'm now having this conversation with my mate, I might start off by saying that I was frustrated and upset. And then as we progress in the conversation, I'm now able to share, well, you know what? I was really hurt because it makes me feel like I'm not important to you. And when I don't feel important, it kind of takes me back to childhood when it seemed like no one really would remember me. And it's making me feel vulnerable in a way that I thought I had overcome that. And I thought I was important. Do you see how I'm able to go even further in depth? When we have emotional intimacy in a relationship, we have this ability to be completely naked, not physically, but completely naked emotionally, knowing and believing that it is a safe space to be there. So did you hear what I said? Knowing. If I know you are a safe space, it is because you have already proven yourself to be that for me. Therefore, I'm not just jumping off of a cliff here. I know that when I engage in this type of conversation, if I did jump, you've proven to me through your soundness and consistency that you will be there to catch me. So even though I'm buck naked, running stark naked through the street with this emotional intimacy, I know that you have covered me and therefore it is safe. And that is the great feeling about emotional closeness, which is the quintessential element of all forms of intimacy. It's needed. So regardless of which of the 5 forms of intimacy you may ascribe to, everyone needs emotional closeness. And it is one of the reasons why everyone has this element and possibly another one, but they must definitely have this one. And then the 5th item is sexual intimacy. So here's the thing, guys, you may not have known about this, but let me explain it to you. Sex is so important to people before they get married. They need to know. Is it the size of the boat or the motion in the ocean? I need to know that I am sexually compatible with this person. Let's face facts. Let's just get to the nitty gritty. Yes, it is an experience that you are having physically, But the only reason the physical experience takes place and is heightened to the degree that it is because of the mental connection. I get it. Some people are like, no, I've had one night stands. I didn't know nothing about that person. And we had the best sex ever. Okay. That person obviously has had some great practice and has known how to hit your G-spot. Awesome. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know how to do that. If you read one good book based on age, you're able to figure out where a person's G-spot is and then just kind of catch your vibe to see, am I putting you in the right positions here in order to figure out what to do and how to do it? No rocket science there, okay? But the greatest sex that you can actually experience is when you have not just the physical connection, but the mental connection as well, all right? Let me prove my point. This is what I'm trying to say. Think of every relationship. Doesn't matter if the person was married or not. They were telling you at some point that this was the best sex they have ever had. Think of those people, okay? Now that you have those in mind, wait, let me give you a moment. Yep, get that couple in mind. You remember it. Might even be yourself. Okay. All right, remember the stories they told you. Okay, put that in your head. Now, when they broke up or that marriage ended, was it because the sex stopped being good? No, it wasn't, was it? So it has nothing to do with the relationship. It is the mental ability to connect, okay? So case in point, research has shown and proven when it comes to relationship and marital satisfaction, if you are satisfied in your relationship, in your marriage, you believe this is the best experience ever. Let me tell you something. Research has shown only 10%, that's right, 10% of the population, according to this research, were able to say that sex was the reason that they were so happy in the relationship. No. And that number flips only in the beginning of a relationship. So in those early stages or those early marital years, sex is only 10% of the importance attributing to your relationship and marital satisfaction. So I don't care how great that sex is, girl. It's only going to last for so long. And we already know when it comes to good sex, you're not doing this for hours. I don't care what that girl's saying in that song. It is not going on for hours and hours and hours. Okay. So what is my case in point here? When it comes to sexual intimacy, some people really do need to connect there, and it is the sexual experience that connects them. Most definitely that is true. But it is not the only thing. And I will explain that later so that you have a clearer understanding, because some of you are like, she lying. That's not true. Yeah, it is. Sex is only attributing to 10% of your relationship satisfaction. We have proven that when I said, think of that couple or that girl or that guy who said he was having the bomb sex ever, the best sex in his life. Is he still with that person? Is she still with him? And if not, did the sex change? No. They ended up telling you all the things that were not taking place in the relationship. That is what caused the dissatisfaction. Not the sex, because I know a number of people who, one of my friends reminded me the other day when her man told her when the relationship was over, bye, and I'm going to miss the sex, right? He said it in a different way, which made it more hilarious, but you get my point. My point is to say, and if we look at the flip side of their research, when it comes to a relationship and it is not going well, guess what people say? Sex is 90% of the reason why it's not. And you're probably like, wait a minute, say what? Lady, I just thought you just said that sex was not that important. Oddly enough, it still is the truth. But when a relationship is going well, people, thus 10% of the people, only believe that sex attributes to it going well. So they believe they have a wonderful relationship, best thing ever, but they only believe, that's 10%, only believe that sex has contributed to make it that well for them in this relationship. Yet when things are going amicably, that's not even the right way to say that. Let's just say horribly, that's better. When things are going horribly wrong, then people believe that sex is 90% of the reason. So you're probably like, is that not an oxymoron, Dr. Sadia? How does that even begin to make sense? Well, let me explain it to you. It's all about feeling loved, right? So that's what we're talking about. And I gave you 5 examples of ways that you can make someone feel loved. You would increase the intimacy in your relationship. And I identified 5 types of intimacy: recreational, intellectual, social, emotional, and sexual. So yes, you can actually give someone sex and that would make them feel more intimate with you, thus feeling loved by you. But if sex is there, guess what? It's not the only thing that you have to do. All right. So what does that really mean? It's all a matter of balance, because sex is important. Let's just be real. God made us to be relational, and let's just face facts. He's the one who gave us sex. So if you're married, have at it. Have plenty of it. Enjoy yourselves. Stop holding out. Right. We give freely prior to marriage, but then want to close up the shop after we get married, after a while. I get it. I know a lot of you are probably saying, you're not married, you don't understand, you don't know. Well, I would love to know one day. Let's just put it like that, okay? But my point is to say, these are ways that we make someone feel loved. We engage with them in these forms of intimacy because it is what they need to feel loved. This is evidence that will add to their existing knowledge that you love them, and in the same moment helps them to feel loved by you, not because they're giving it to you. That's not going to make them feel loved. But as you give them what it is that they need, you in turn become like that coworker or that boss that shows up to work high off of life and hasn't taken out one single drug, but you're happy and in love and you want everybody to know it and experience it. So you are Santa Claus every single day at that office, right? Making certain that you are passing out all types of happiness in that office. Okay. And it's because you want everyone else to feel what you are feeling, which is this euphoria of dopamine, which is heightening your experience of feeling loved. Okay. All right. So let me get to the second set. All right. The second set, meaning the second option, a way that you can make people feel loved. Of course, there will always be daily, small little things. You will have small, frequent deposits that you put into your partner that just lets you know that you're thinking about them or that you love them. You know, you're not doing anything, special, but you send them a text just to let them know that you're thinking about them, or you call them just to say hi and you love them. Little small things like that, or a note here or there. Small gestures of appreciation, respect, and affection allow a person to know that you love them, but the experience allows them to feel it. So whenever you do these things consistently throughout your relationship, you continue to build up the ability for this person to not just know their love, but to actually continuously experience the feeling that they are loved by you. Okay. And then the last big one, so I gave you that small one in between, right? Because these are things that you're doing daily and consistently within the relationship. It can be that form of intimacy and those 5 elements that I gave you, or this next set of 5 things. So think of it as it is like we're looking at a train, and that second piece that I just gave you, those small bits of daily and consistent interaction where you're making deposits into this person, either verbally or non-verbally, but letting them know that they are loved so that they feel that from you. Think of that as like the connector on this train. It connects these 2 cars together. The first car was the intimacy car. And then this last car, it is the love language car. And then the consistency piece that I told you of these deposits that you will make, that is the connector between these 2. Okay. So the final piece is about your love language. Now, I know you all have already heard about love languages. If you aren't familiar or aware of it, just go ahead and Google the number 5, lovelanguages.com. Take the quiz, see what your love language is, okay? And it changes over time. Why does it change? It generally changes because whenever we're full on something, we don't want any more of that, right? And if we have room in our palates, then we can take on something else. So generally, we have one top love language. And if you have a close second, then that means that those two can flip-flop. So if I am experiencing the top two, quality time and words of affirmation, then if I really be getting a lot of time from you, but not much communication, I'll be full on quality time. And if I took the test again, then my number one love language would appear to be words of affirmation. But it would seem as if quality time was not as important, but it probably wouldn't, because as I'm answering the questions, because I'm full on that, because we've been doing so much together, then it really is not applicable in not being done or not being fulfilled, because it actually is. Okay. So let me get into it. The 5 love languages are quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving of gifts, and acts of service. So what does that all mean? Okay. Quality time is you spending time with your partner, right? So let me use the theme tacos. So quality time is, hey, babe, let's make some tacos tonight. And then you all are just doing it up in the kitchen. You got some music going, and, you might be saucing along the way while you are making your tacos, okay? It's quality time together. Now, words of affirmation, you're still using the same thing, tacos, okay? And you may have heard this on the show before. I've talked about it before, but just repeating it again. Quality time, we know, was making the tacos. Words of affirmation would be, babe, nobody makes tacos like you. Sylvia was trying to say that she's going to bring in her tacos to the company picnic on Saturday. And I'm trying to let Sylvia know nobody can throw down making tacos like my babe. And I'm just telling you because, babe, let's make some tacos. You know what? Let me help you make your tacos so I can prove to Sylvia that you can throw down better than her, right? Making the tacos, of course, is quality time. But the way that he was building his wife up, letting his wife know Sylvia has nothing on her, that's words of affirmation, okay? Physical touch. Think about when you grab a taco and you're eating it, right? It has those open sides. So you are gingerly placing your mouth around the open edges of that taco so you do not drop one iota of a piece of cheese, meat, lettuce, tomato, whatever you put on it, right? You are meticulously making certain that all of those elements make it into your mouth and go down your throat, right? The way that you are touching it is this closeness. Think of physical touch like the way that you are grabbing that taco. You are holding it ever so close, bringing it close to you. So that's like somebody saying, babe, I love the way you touch my tacos, right? I'm being facetious here, but physical touch is you actually connecting with this person physically. And you know those people. You'll see them, and they may be in a family environment, or some gathering, and them and their partner are sitting next to each other, and they'll come by and they'll just rub their spouse on the back or hold their partner's hand. Or you may see this couple driving, and the woman will be rubbing her husband's head, right? These are small things. Physical touch doesn't always mean sex. And in actuality, it's very little or very few times does it really mean sex. It's a non-sexual touch because for that person, it is the soothingness of the physical touch. So think of any baby that's been crying and you pick that baby up and you're just trying to soothe that baby, right? So you're bouncing the baby off your shoulder, right? While you're holding the baby on your chest and you're patting the back and rubbing the back and, rocking the baby. Physical touch is that closeness. In essence, however they were soothed as a child and a baby, they like that connection and that touch. That's where it comes from. It's very reassuring to this individual, and it makes them feel loved because it takes them back to a time where that was being done for them that made them feel loved. So if I was frustrated and I'm fussy and I'm crying as a baby or a toddler, and my parent comes to soothe me so that I'm no longer fussy or no longer crying, and they rock me or they pick me up and they just hold me and keep them close, or maybe I'm just agitated and I just want to be kept close. Shoot, I was 24 years old. Or was I 25? Okay, that was, yes, 24. I was 24 years old, sitting on my daddy's lap because I was in an environment where I did not know those people. and I didn't want to be around them. And I looked around and was like, where is my daddy? Saw my daddy sitting down, didn't say not one word, walked right up to him and sat on his lap and sat there listening to the conversation like this is the safest space in the room for me. And I'm a grown woman. I did not feel threatened by anyone. I just did not feel comfortable and safe. But what was safe was my daddy. And at the time, standing next to him just didn't seem appropriate. Seemed like, nope, I need to get close here. And your lap is me getting as close as I can get. And he had a wife somewhere in the room. I could care less about her. Not my favorite stepmother. Shout out to Miss Ophelia. But seriously, this woman was not Miss Ophelia, whom I love dearly. My family, we love her dearly. This other woman, on the other hand, I wasn't thinking about her. Like, girl, say something, please. But I'm sitting on my daddy's lap because I feel comfortable. It was that closeness, that physical touch, okay? Y'all pray for me. I got issues. No, I'm just kidding. But that actually did take place, and I really did need that comfort, okay? All right. The fourth element is receiving of gifts. Now, ladies, stay with me, please. I hear you, okay? Because you're probably saying, yes, that's my love language. Buy me some stuff. Take me to the mall. Receiving of gifts does not necessarily mean that you're a mallaholic, shopaholic. Receiving of gifts just means that when you were separated from this individual, they did something that lets you know that they were thinking about you, that makes you feel love. So going back to the taco example in this case would be, oh, babe, I know you love Soshimokos. And we had a meeting off site and I noticed we were just 2 blocks away. So after the meeting, I just made certain that I ordered your favorite tacos and I went and picked them up. They were ready when I got there. And I just wanted to bring you a little something, so don't worry about cooking tonight. Hey, I bought your tacos that you so love from this restaurant, right? So it's a gift. It's something small. It doesn't have to be the Taj Mahal. It's just something small like, hey, I know this is your favorite pop or soda. And so I just wanted to make certain that I picked you, up your favorite thing because I know you ran out and I know you love to have this nearby when you're watching your movies, right? It lets that person know that you are thinking about them, that they are really pretty much on your mind, and it lets them feel love, okay? And the last one, acts of service. Now you're probably like, well, how is that love? Somebody doing something for me. That's pretty much what acts of service is. So just think about this. If you have a heavy plate, you have so many things going on, and someone does something to take one item off your list of 42 items, you're like, oh my goodness, this is so nice. It's sort of like marking something off your list as done now. Your to-do list, you can just scratch one thing off, right? For some people, that is so relieving. It lets them know, wow, you have done so much for me in this one thing because what you have said to me is that you love me. And I feel it because you knew I had a lot going on. I was overworked, burdened. And by you alleviating one thing from my list, it just lets me know that you see me and that you love me because you want things to be better for me. That's what that communicates. So if there were tacos, going back to the thing again, hey, babe, I know you have this big project going on tomorrow. So I know you're going to come in here thinking you have to make dinner for the kids and, get them together with their homework. Don't worry, I got it. We've already worked on the kids' homework and I made your favorite tonight. I made you tacos. That person is like, what? The kids, you did their homework? I mean, did you give them a bath too? No, I'm just kidding. But wow, and you made dinner. You have really made things so much better for me. Now, I'm telling you, the man that does that, he getting some that night. You know why? Because he set it up to make her feel loved. And she's going to reciprocate, making him feel loved. All right? So that's it, guys. When it comes to knowing we're loved versus feeling we're loved, both are very important. But knowing we are loved, even though I know it to be true, and I believe it to be true in present tense, it can only be true in present tense because I have experienced seeing the evidence of it. And if I experience the evidence of it, it is past tense. So while it lays the foundation and sets the tone for me knowing I am loved by you and receiving love from you, the only way I can feel loved is to actually have you make small, consistent deposits unto me daily, like I am the local bank. You come in and you make deposits by making me feel love with either my love language or with nonverbal or verbal actions or with ways of connecting with me through one of the 5 intimacy. Okay. All right. So that's it. And just to kind of recap, the 5 forms of intimacy were recreational, intellectual, social, emotional, and sexual. The 5 love languages are quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving of gifts, and acts of service. All right. So I want you all to go out there. It's summer. All right. Emotions are high. Love is in the air. Go out there and show your spouse that you love them. Don't just tell them. Show your partner that you love them. Make them feel loved. Matter of fact, spend the next 2 weeks making them feel loved. And then when we come back for the next episode, you'll be able to say, girl, I actually followed your advice for 2 whole weeks. And guess what happened? You're going to see a change in that thing. All right. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about, folks. All right. Not just here spit knowledge. I'm experiencing it because this is my day-to-day world. So, hey, I want you all to experience this good stuff. All right. So go out there and love on one another. And that's it for today's show. But before I close out, yes, don't turn me off just yet, y'all. Before I close out, I want you all to be involved with my weekly text messages. So if you're in a relationship or married, I want you to text the word date night, spelled DATENITE. So that's date night, DATENITE. Text that word to the number 877-7LOVE07. Again, that number is 877-7LOVE07. And wait a minute, singles. I haven't forgotten about you. Y'all know I love y'all too. I'm getting y'all ready to be in a relationship, right? So if you want to be involved in my weekly text messages for self-love, sisterly love and support, encouragement, helping you to meet those goals for 2022, then I want you to text the word no dessert. That's right. We're going to pretend that's one word. No dessert, NODESSERT, and you're going to text that to that same number, 877-7LOVE07. So whether you are single, dating, engaged, married, just in a relationship, however you want to identify it, you can text that number. Singles, of course, you're going to text the word no dessert. And married or in a relationship, you're going to text the word date night, spelled DATENITE. And I'm going to send you tips, tools, and resources according to your relationship status. It's been very helpful, I think, because that's what some people actually respond when I actually send out the text messages. Some people are like, hey, this is right on time. I needed this. Other people are forwarding everything I'm saying to other people. And it's been helpful to them. So I want as many as I could possibly get. So I would love to have you all to join us. We have great things that I share with you all. I send videos to you all. I pray for you all. I send little tips and tools to kind of help you get over certain hurdles and accomplish goals, all that great stuff. So if you want to be a part of it, don't forget to text the number 877-7LOVE07, where singles will text the word no dessert, all one word, no spaces. And then the couples or people in a relationship will text the word date night, spelled DATENITE. All right. And of course, you all know I'm always peddling something, right? Not because I'm always trying to say something, but because I want you to experience the most and best from life and love. You know, I have the book Get Naked. So I want you to go out there and grab that book. It's great to help you in your relationship with you and your parent, but as well with you and your child. But just as much as important is also with regard to you and your partner in a relationship. Helps you to understand attachment and how to better those relationships. All right. So with that being said, let me go ahead and close out with my like it, love it, leave it tips. And let's just go ahead and dig in. I would say when it comes to my like it tip, I believe there is always room for growth. So when it comes to you letting your partner know that you love them, if you're not a person that says it that often, well, guess what? Today is a brand new day and tomorrow is an even newer day, if that's even a phrase to say. So that means you can always start over. If you didn't do it today, there's tomorrow. If you forgot yesterday, well, guess what? As long as your eyes and wake up tomorrow and you are here blessed to be on this side of the earth, well, then you can share your love with your partner and you can let them know that you love them. So there's always room for growth. It's not about where you started. It's about where you end up. So if you're not letting that person know that you love them, start now. And you want to make certain that they feel love. So start doing little things. Again, it doesn't have to cost you $1 million. That's the one great thing I love about the weekly text messages that I send out when I'm giving my relationship tips. And, I do stuff to say, hey, do this in your relationship. It's going to help to improve in such and such area. And people actually do it. It's small deposits. I'm not trying to have you all to go out here and pretend as if, you are living the lifestyles of the rich and famous. You don't have to spend all that kind of money just to make someone feel loved. It's about the gesture, not the amount. And if you make small gestures over time, it's just as important as making one big gesture. I read this news article that we used to have up in our office years ago at this place I worked. And it was about this woman who she worked at this company. She didn't make a lot of money. She was a secretary, but she believed in investing in the stock market based off of the shares or what have you from her job. And she didn't have a lot of money, but she made small deposits. Her deposits at the time, it was like the 60s. She made like maybe $5, $2, something like that, deposits over time. Very small increment amounts of money. And when she retired, she had $3 million. $3 million. And now when you say, okay, retire, it wasn't like that woman was working 50 years, okay? They didn't give a lot of detail, but it was under 20 years. And consistently, she made deposits of $1, $2, $3, and $5. Again, it was a 50, so it wasn't like she was balling out with her salary at that time, y'all. But it was enough that it was consistent enough that when she put it in her bank account to make those deposits to acquire that, she had over $3 million. Matter of fact, I was reading this book. That's right. My mentor, Tiffany, the Budgetnista. Yep. Check her out, y'all. MyMentorTiffany.com. Anyhow, I'm saying to say, I read her book, Get Good with Money, made a very similar example in the fact that if you go ahead and make these deposits into an IRA Roth, right? Or if you are investing in your 401k or your 501c3 at your job, 403b at your job as a nonprofit, which is a 501c3, then small increments over time will yield greater money than you making these chunk deposits here and there. Works out a lot better. Okay. Trust me. I've been doing this for a while, guys. I'm telling you it's the truth. Same thing works in a relationship. Yep. I'm getting back to the point. Same thing works in a relationship. It's all about making small, consistent deposits because over time it adds more and more than you would if you made inconsistent large deposits. Okay. Think of any guy that's married and his wife is not happy and he buys her fur or he buys her this fancy purse and he does that once a year. Yeah, she likes the gifts, but she'd rather have more consistency from him than these big grand gestures here and there. Okay. All right. What is my love it tip? My love it tip is that I think I just really like the fact that we just want to give oodles and oodles of expression of love. As much love as we can possibly give, that's what we want to do because that's what we were made for. We were made to love. We were made to experience love as well as to express love. We were made to be relational. And it's really important to grow in the ways in which we are displaying our affection towards another person as well as our expression of love. If we're starting out with telling this person that we love them, over time, we should be growing in our ability to explain that with great depth and examples and frailty and vulnerability. It's all about the vulnerability, okay? And being able to feel as if we can be vulnerable with the person. And then my leave it tip, y'all, it's all about this. Look, feeling as if we don't have to make our partner feel loved is just wrong. You do. You have to make your partner feel loved. It's not optional. Okay. It is not something like, no, I don't think I'm going to do that from year 3 to 14. I think I'm going to take a break from that. No, you have to make your partner feel loved because that's what happened when you all got in a relationship, when you decided to get engaged, when you decided to marry, they made you feel loved. That's why you felt this was a worthy investment, a wise decision, a grand choice. They made you feel loved. And when someone makes us feel loved, in essence, they're validating us. We believe we are validated in the way that we believe we are heard by this person, that they get us in the way that no one else does. So we feel understood by them. They might not always agree, but they make us feel heard and understood. And they make us feel cared for by the things that they do. You know, those small gestures that Babe was doing in the beginning that you like, oh, girl, he's so sweet. He bought me this card that said such and such. And he reminded me during dinner on our third date. I told, you know, how we do. And we just feel like, oh, he just gets me, right? Or she really gets me, however it is, right? But when I say that, I mean it from the aspect of it's validating. When we make a person feel heard, understood, and cared for, it is validating. And if I even went back to the feeling love through the forms of intimacy or the love languages, all of that is soothing to us. When someone engages us in a way that validates who we are as an individual, it is soothing to us. And it speaks to us in a way that lets us feel this is a safe space to be. Meaning I can go out in this world and I believe that I have come from a secure base, that this environment makes me feel strong enough to know I can go out there and conquer anything. But it also lets us know this place is a safe haven too, meaning no matter how harsh it is out there in that cold, cruel heart, well, Dwayne, just kidding. That's my Whitley Wayne voice. But no matter how cruel it is out there, I can come back to this place and it is a safe haven for me. It will always be a place of refuge for me because this individual, having them near, available, responsive to me, allows me to feel safe, secure, and loved. All of that is soothing to an individual. All right. So I tried to dance things up a little bit because I know this content can sometimes be a little dry, but you all hopefully get my points and examples. But what I'm trying to say when it comes to leaving it, meaning the like it, love it, leave it tip, the leave it tip is really, we would not live in a world where we did not make our children feel loved. We do things to make them feel loved. Not just know that they are loved because we want them to feel it, right? Why would we not want that for our partner, our spouse? It's important. So if it's important to you, if it's important to you with your child, then guess what? It's important to Bae. All right. Hope this has been helpful, everyone. That's it really for today's show. And you know how we like to flow. Don't forget to rate and review us wherever you have downloaded the show. We're available on all podcasting platforms. And then, of course, we're available on the erosmeetsagape website. Okay. And, of course, you can follow us on all social media platforms at erosmeetsagape. I just want to say, go out there, join us, grab the book. Don't forget. Get that text message going on. I want to hear from you all, okay? And matter of fact, when you join, text me and say, hey, Dr. Sadia, and I'll respond back to you, okay? That way you know it's me and I got it, all right? Till next time, everyone, I'm Dr. Sadia, helping you to give and receive the love you both want and need. Till next time, be blessed, everyone. Bye-bye.